Listen, I did karate when I was younger, right? If I remember, I never got black belt, maybe because I was too scrawny and a shrimp, but officer black belt, could you fight your way through this? No! Hell no, I couldn't. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing Officer Black Belt. What's about? Pretty simple premise. Well, according to this movie, in Korea, a lot of people are on bracelets, right? And those are like sex offenders, homicide. And it's very interesting because this movie has a potent point about sex offenders with children. And I want to get to that and talk about that throughout this movie. But this is about a guy that kind of wants to have fun with his life. That's why he does sports. He does esports. That's his point of living. And he saved a martial arts officer from getting stabbed, basically. And now they're like, hey, we want to recruit and help this while he's recovering from his injuries. So he doesn't even realize it's fun. But a martial arts officer is the one that goes out to these criminals that have the bands. And basically, they're there to kind of help. They're not like police officers right here. They have tasers, but they have the tasers like right here, but they don't have guns. So they're kind of like just helping the social workers do their job, if I want to put it that way. However, a massive sexual assault, sexual harassment, sexual predator has just been released from jail, and now nasty shit's about to happen. Nasty shit is about to happen. So did I like this movie? So I knew the main character. I was like, what is he from? I just watched a movie he was in, 20. So yes, this movie, you could say it's all over the place with tone, because sometimes it wants to be like a fun little like buddy, comedy or a buddy kind of thing. And the next scene it turns around of like, oh, that's a 10-year-old girl. Then it turns around and be like, oh, now we're going back to like, I want to say the comedic elements, but something comedic happens. Then we're going to, oh, this guy just got knocked out with a bat and blood is spewing everywhere. The guy just got hit in the neck. He's paralyzed. So the tonal shifts are all over the place with the violence and with the themes of the movie. But overall, I think what they were trying to say really works in my opinion. So talk about the action set pieces. I mean, everything is in frame with this movie. You are getting stationary cameras. You are getting such little jump cuts for the editing that you know the action is happening. And yes, you can say, oh, it's like John Wick. No, but there's no guns in this one. This is bats, tasers, hands. And it is good. And mannequins. We'll put it that way. But every time action was on screen, it was 110%. There's no such thing as 110%, but it's 110% balls to the wall. My eyes were glued to the freaking screen. I mean, it was brutal. There's a scene where a guy breaks a guy's ankle, and it's like one of the first movies I actually seen where it's like, it takes force. And this force was, oh shit, force. But also there's like knife wounds, there's bat wounds, there's blood. And when it hits, it is a gut punch of oh shit moments. And of course, they do some levity of the, comedic elements kind of sprinkled in between, which I like that they did it to a point because it's kind of like that movie, what's that snuff film with Joaquin Phoenix and Nicolas Cage? Oh my God, what's it called? Phil 88? What? I thought I owned it. But like, you have a movie like that where it's a gut punch to the throat and gut punch to the throat. Anyway, it's one of those movies where it does not let up, and sometimes you're just like, I need a break. And at least this movie does give you a break. Interesting themes about this movie. Sexual predators, offenders in this movie. How in this movie it talks about how Korea's laws when it comes to that are actually some of the lowest in the world, of how letting them out, have the ankle monitor to watch them, try to come men's into society. However, there's that part. There's the other part where this huge sexual offender for 20 years gets released from prison, and some guy's like, my taxes aren't made, or I don't pay taxes to have the sexual offender be on the streets. And you're just like, yeah, because if this guy did 15 girls that are 15 and under, and now he's out of prison for 20 years, Like, we do not think of the victims anymore. And this movie also thinks about the victims because when this 10-year-old is about to have something bad happen to her, they talk about this 10-year-old is afraid to leave the house now. And that's the thing, is it's not just Korea anymore. This is not dogging Korea. This is dogging even America right now. We don't care about the victims. We do this cashless bail for murderers or, rapists or people that do horrible shit. Like, oh, just let them back on the street. Illegals, let them back on the street. And you're just like, really? Because the high probability is they're about to do more crime. And we don't care about the victims, do we? We do not care about if someone breaks into this home. Well, this is a different state where stand your ground. But California, someone breaks into your home, you have a gun, you want to shoot them. Homeowner, give us your gun. Guy that tried to rob you, we can't find him because he ran away, but you were stationary. So shit like that really pisses me off. And this movie brought it up to a upteenth degree of like, we need to care about the victims more. We need to care about the victims' families more. We need to stop being all like, oh, but the guy that perpetrated it was X-race, so I'm like, it's... if you rape someone. If you murder someone. You know what you're doing. And I'm not talking about self-defense murder. I'm talking about cold-blood Philadelphia murder, okay? So, it's just fucking wild where we are in a state of play where we care more about the perpetrator and not the victim. But no, this movie, when it hits hard. It has very adult themes in it about sexual assault and rape to younger girls. And if you're also one of those people in the world that want to put pedophilia and say it's normal, fucking kick rocks and jump off a bridge. But overall, Officer Black Belt, it's a great action movie. It has dark themes. It has comedic elements. Sometimes the tonal shifts might ruin a person for this movie, but I think it was somewhat needed. And I just think the overall message of this movie is really solid. So Officer Black Belt will receive a 4 out of 5 Futons, which equals at 80%. So let's see the critics and user scores that gave this one. So critics, there's 5 of them, a positive. Okay, let's see here. Come on, stop with the ads. Positive, a negative, a positive, a negative, and a positive. So that's a 60%. Wow, some guy said it's boring, so I guess wow. Then this one is an odd disconnect tone between the heavy child predators protecting children from child abuse. So he didn't like the tone for that reason. Understandable. But this guy said it was boring. Nah, it wasn't boring. It was boring if you think pedophilia is fucking gross. Anyway, 60, 81, 80. Chase Sock here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One other thing, Blue Futontopia. You Blue Futon, take a watch. Have a great day. I'll watch today, tomorrow, week, from a month, or a year from now. Every single freak one of you. Peace and love. Peace and love. And my God, if you think pedophilia is normal, you fucked. You're fucked.